And we got some Detroit Lions rumors for you today. Some very interesting ones. The Detroit Lions, could they be looking to acquire and trade for a wide receiver? Really? We're going to talk about Matthew Stafford's comments talking about facing the Detroit Lions. We're going to talk about Dan Campbell talking about Jared Goff. Was he right? Was he wrong? Cris Carter thinks he's wrong. We're going to get all into it right now.
It's LeGarrette Blount here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, MicroMike, man.
Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch MicroMike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron. Big shout out to MicroMike and YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
If you're into Detroit Lions and you like news and rumors, you like all things Detroit Lions, you like live shows and watch parties, then you need to subscribe to this channel because that's all I do here is talk all things Detroit Lions. We have fun doing so regardless of how the team is doing. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, let's get to 200 likes in this video. The more likes we get, the more chance that Chat Sports is off my 2 points of contact. And I don't like having them on there, so get those likes up. That would be very, very great. First off, we're going to be talking about what Dan Campbell stated about Jared Goff after the game. We're going to assess it. Then we're going to assess what Carter said about it, and I'll give you my opinion. He stated, I'll tell you this, full 10-second pause, and it was. I feel like he needs to step up more than he has. He is going to need to put a little bit of weight on his shoulders. It is time to step up, make some throws, and do some things, but he needs to help. I don't put all this on Jared Goff. This is a collective effort from how can we help schematically. Are guys getting open? Is he making the throws that he should? Is he making the right read? So this is a collective effort offensively that we're digging ourselves into a ditch with. Hit the like button, folks. Let's get to 200 likes in this video. With your help, it can get it done. I don't know if you know this, but the more likes that a video gets, that is more of an opportunity for the video gets pushed out. That is exactly what needs to happen when it comes to Detroit Lions talk, as we're not represented in the big market. So smash that like button. It's free to do so, and it helps the channel out. There's a little criticism there, but I have no problem with criticism. Why is it that every other player on a team can get criticized? You criticize the kicker, criticize offensive line, criticize the running back, tight ends, wide receivers, defensive line, linebackers, cornerback, safety, everyone. But there's an issue with criticizing the quarterback. I believe that everybody should be able to get praise and everybody on a team should get criticized. That's how the real world works. You do good, you get praised. You don't do so good, you get criticized. So I have no problem with that. Dan Campbell is an upfront individual. He's going to tell you what he thinks, what he's mean. He have his emotions on his sleeve. No problem with that. And he's correct. Jared Goff does need to step up. He's also correct that there is issues around him that is affecting the play. There's nothing wrong with stating the obvious. Why is it that if you give a little bit of criticism or you just state the obvious facts, people get offended by that? I get offended by all the offended. Like, how many offended can you offend in a game and everything? And it's okay to criticize Jared Goff. Anyone who's looking at this situation with unbiased eyes, anybody that's looking at this situation who watches the game can understand mistakes are being had. Mistakes are being made. So, what is the problem stating the obvious when a reporter asks you the question? Nothing. There should be nothing wrong with it. And I concur with what he said, and I agree with his assessment. But not everybody agreed with what he stated. And that being Cris Carter, former player, part of ESPN. He says, this is not the way you're supposed to do it. Well, when I take advice from Cris Carter about how to be professional, that will be the day I put my head in a wall, because as a player, he was very unprofessional. He was a diva. He was always whining. So it's a little bit being a do as I say, not as I do. Now Cris Carter is much better than he is now, than he was as a young player. With that said, come on, man. It's okay to criticize players. Like I stated before, I think it's funny how you can criticize every other position, but you can't criticize the quarterback position. Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Doesn't add up. in my opinion. And so, Cris Carter, I appreciate you talking about the Lions, but of course, it's negative. That's what you do. So many legacy media does. So please focus on your Minnesota Vikings. Focus on other teams. Leave the Lions business to the Lions. That's kind of what I think about that. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you think that Cris Carter's a little bit off kilter here? Or do you think he's right to say that you're not supposed to do it that way? Let me know in the comment section what you feel. Would you like to make some money? Well, I have a good way to get... Would you like to make some money? Well, I have an easy way to do so. Go to chatsports.com/LionsBet. That's Bet Us. Put in the promo code LIONS125. You get a 125% deposit bonus. Bet on a game. Make some money. It's better for a scratch-off ticket. It's better than a casino. Easy to do. chatsports.com/LionsBet. Now, Ian Rappaport came out with a tweet yesterday that the Detroit Lions are looking to acquire a wide receiver. To me, this is definitely a little bit shocking because, first off, we traded for Trinity Benson already this season. We traded 2 picks to get a wide receiver from the Denver Broncos. The trade looks terrible right now as Trinity Benson is doing absolutely nothing. Not a good trade as of right now. Could it get better? Yeah, if he plays better, no doubt about it. But it hasn't worked out. The Lions are 0-6. The Lions are not going to the playoffs. So why get rid of draft capital to acquire a wide receiver? Yes, we need help with Cephas down. Yes, we need help with Tyrell Williams. Yes, we need help overall. With that said, you should have thought that before the season started. You should have thought about Tyrell Williams as an injured player. He's always injured. Why would you even sign him? Rashad Perryman, he was going from team to team to team. Why sign him to release him? If you wanted to get a quality wide receiver, you should have did it in the offseason before this season. Now the Lions are 0-6. We're not making the playoffs. It's not going to help. It would take a little bit for the wide receiver to get acclimated. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me when you can just go ahead and draft your wide receiver. Andy Isabella is a wide receiver the Lions could trade for. There's a couple articles out there of other wide receivers you could trade for. He's not being used. Probably wouldn't cost a whole lot to get him. I just have an issue with getting rid of draft picks. Now, if they're to trade player v. player, I have no problem with that. That is the best way to go, in my opinion. If you're going to make a trade a player away that we may not use for a player we could use, keep the draft capital here. It is important to build this team to the draft. It's important to have this capital to get a wide receiver in the draft. That's how you're going to build this football team the correct way. Right now, getting a wide receiver is not going to help us make the playoffs. It is not. It may help out Goff a little bit to assess him in a couple weeks after him getting acclimated, but in all honesty, it's not going to help out the team except for hurt in the draft. So if they want to do this trade, I would be all for player v. player, a player that we're not using, instead of using draft capital. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Do you want the Detroit Lions to trade for a wide receiver? Let me know. Yes, no, in the comment section. Matthew Stafford was asked about playing the Detroit Lions. This is what he had to say. He says, just like any other game, Stafford said when asked about him preparing for his former team, per ESPN Liv's theory, it's an NFL opponent coming into our building. Do you believe it? No, I don't believe it. Of course he wants to beat the Detroit Lions. Of course he wants to show out against his former team. Absolutely. Who wouldn't? Jared Goff wants to beat his former team. That happens with every single player that leaves the team and faces them. You can look at Tom Brady this year going to New England and winning the game. I call BS flag on Matthew Stafford, but we all know Matthew Stafford, how he speaks. He always tries to keep it professional in business. He's always tries to be the humble type of guy. So, of course, that's what he's going to say. That's what is expected, but that is not reality. He wants to beat the football team. And guess what, folks? He's probably going to really destroy our football team. He's probably going to put a clinic on us. And that's just the facts. The Rams are a much better team. They're 5 wins. The Lions are 0-6. Lions going to L.A. Matthew Stafford against his former team. Clinic. Touchdown. I wouldn't be shocked if he did 4 or 5 touchdowns this game and ripped us off. And, of course, Jared Goff is going to his former team, and he wants to win and show Sean McVay that the trade was not good. But, obviously, the trade worked out great because Matthew Stafford's doing really well. Jared Goff is not doing really well. But yeah, I have no problem with his statement here. It's to be expected. And in all honesty, any professional is probably going to say the same thing, most likely. But we all know the truth, and the truth is that he wants to win, and so does Goff. In the upcoming videos, we got tomorrow a draft video. Get ready for that. It's going to be talking about the draft and some players that the Lions could look to take. On Thursday, the One Pride Podcast. It's a fun, interactive show. If you've not been here before, we have the mailbag segment where we got questions, we have answers. And on Sunday, Detroit Lions versus Los Angeles Rams. Live watch party. Goff versus Stafford. Stafford versus Goff. You don't want to miss that one.